What's up, Juggalos? Wicked Clown Reviews here. I'm going to be reviewing every single EP and LP released by Psychopathic Records in chronological order. Up next is the 1994 Sideshow EP, The Terror Wheel. So, first, I'm going to give my thoughts on the album as a whole, and then afterwards, I'm going to compare all the different CD pressings. So Terror Wheel came out just a couple months after the Ringmaster, and it's kind of the first EP that takes on the form of a carnival ride itself. This would kind of become a trend that was later repeated through the years, and overall, it's a pretty solid companion to Ringmaster. It's kind of while Beverly Kills builds off Carnival of Carnage, the Terror Wheel is kind of its own thing. It conceptually starts with the announcer letting people know to enter the Terror Wheel, and then as they enter, they are greeted by Willoughby Rags, who makes his debut. Willoughby Rags is a shit-talking asshole carny that comes up throughout ICP's discography. And this cover, if you're a Moby fan, you might recognize it. This cover was straight up stolen from the back of a Moby single. The image has been zoomed in a little bit, and it works really well for it, honestly. They probably should have paid him, and I'm shocked they've gotten away with it all these years later. And a lot of times when bands do this later on down the road, when they do a reissue, they will create a new cover. But yeah, they just keep stealing the back of that Moby single, and I guess Moby's cool about it, so that's dope. But yeah, it really works great here, and I love it. And then you see the outline of the Ringmaster kind of connecting it to this era as a whole. All right, so let's bring in the track list and go track by track here. So, right off the bat, we've got the Dead Body Man, which is, a Juggalo classic that was later on Riddlebox. However, this is not the same version. The mix is different here. Violent J's vocals are have a lower frequency. The pitch was slightly adjusted for Riddlebox, and the vocal mixing in general sounds different, especially Shaggy. His contributions are much more prominent on the Riddlebox version, where he's mixed very low here. It's a great version of the track. I don't know. I think I prefer the way Violent J sounds on this version, but I prefer the way Shaggy sounds on the Riddlebox version. So, they both have their strengths and flaws. And then the album kicks into Schizophrenic, which is such a good classic fucking ICP banger with a little bit of G-Funk influence. It's kind of like Carnival G-Funk. And it's really good. And I really love the ICP songs where each verse is Jay and Shaggy going back and forth and kind of sharing the bars, because it's just a cool format rather than just like one person does a verse, chorus, the other person does the verse, which, that's dope too. But I really love tracks like Schizophrenic that do this. And then we've got back to back two sort of Detroit centric songs, which The Smog is all about. It's this creepy, slow, eerie song that's all about the toxic smoke that's goes through Detroit from the Zug Island and the industrial waste districts and stuff like that. And it's a very creative way to reflect and kind of highlight the air quality of Detroit, essentially. And I think it's no coincidence that like most Detroit artists, whether it's R&B and funk or rock and roll or rap or whatever, they all kind of have a rasp to their voice, which is really interesting. And Yeah, I just the Smog is a killer creepy track that highlights it. Used to be called the Swarm. There's an alternate version called the Swarm. Not as good. It's crazy because the lyrics are almost the same, and they just change one word, change Swarm to Smog. Instantly a better, more meaningful track. Um, and then you've got Out. Oh wait. At the end of Smog though, you get the sort of harkening back to Beverly Kills, the whole two-part song thing. You get Thoughts in My Head, which is this, it's repetitively just like chanting thoughts in my head of a clown. And Violent J is just kind of rambling about all these things that are going through his mind. And it's not really a rap track, but it's again almost more like a poetry slam session. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Then we get Out, which is another song just about the ghetto of Detroit and just like the dangers of just walking to the grocery store that you might face. And it's kind of an example of ICP taking this harsh environment they live in and turning it into something fun. And it's kind of it's an oddly upbeat tune. The interesting thing about Out is there's something about Out. I enjoy the song, but I've never like fully like loved it really. And I think it's because I figured out it has no chorus. And I don't know, it's just kind of, it just goes on and on and on and on. And it's not bad or anything, but there's no hook to kind of bring me in. But regardless, it's still a fun song with a great ending. And then we've got I Stuck Her With My Wang. This is Shaggy's solo song on here. And it's fun, it's ridiculous, it's continues the trend of just like ICP's over the top, just like stupidly ridiculous sex songs. And I think my problem with this one is like it's constantly repeating like I stuck her with my wang, and the raps don't flow into it. Like when you have a hook that's that repetitive, it's nice for the vocals to actually connect with the hook, and this one doesn't really. It's got a lot of funny lines, and it's Shaggy doing his thing. But hands down the weakest track on the album. And then this album finishes so strong with Amy's in the Attic, which is it's so far up to this point in ICP's career. Amy's in the Attic is probably a top 10 best song they've done so far. It's a really spooky, creepy ghost story about a woman named Amy in the attic, and it's a great story. The flow is great, the beat is excellent, the samples are cool, the chorus is fucking like ridiculously just like complex but fun to rap along with. And Amy's in the Attic is really good. And then Terror Wheel does something interesting where once it's all over, they present a phone number for you to call to hear the name of the third Joker's card. And you have to figure out the number by connecting the rhymes. And so Violent J will do a little rhyme and then not say the final word, and you have to kind of piece together the phone number. And really fun, I love that type of just like fun, just decoder shit they used to do back in the day. That's just like, it sucks they don't do it anymore, but at the same time, it's a different time now. We've got the internet. I mean, I think the last time they did it was Bang Pow Boom with the ninja decoder, where you had to find the secret symbols, and it's like within an hour of the album's release, they were all posted on like Juggalo websites and stuff. And so it's like, yeah, it sucks they don't do it, but the internet's ruined it, so it doesn't even matter. There's no point in doing it. But this was a time in the 90s where that shit could still, be fresh and fun and cool. So yeah, let's check out the booklet here. So first off, there's actually not much about the Terror Wheel itself in the album. It's mostly just Willoughby Rags being a menace. But here you get kind of the explanation of the Terror Wheel. And again, this just highlights the experience of having the CD and the booklet to dive into versus just listening to a digital copy. I really recommend, if you're just listening to ICP digitally, to look at, the explanations that go with each album, because it's not just about the music. It's also about like the lore and the mythology and even the album covers themselves. And yeah. And then booklets, pretty standard. You got the credits, another Mikey Clark, Peace to the Homies. And then this is Notes of Interest in Detroit. And then join the ICP fan club. And coming soon, the third Joker's card? Question mark. It's pretty funny. But yeah, I love this shit. So yeah, Terror Wheel. It's dope. I've always underrated this album, and I've for the longest time considered it one of the weakest EPs from ICP. But yeah, I really enjoyed listening to it this time around. It's been a long time for me. This one doesn't go into rotation as often as it should. And yeah, Terror Wheel's great. Okay, so we're going to be getting into the different releases. So this here is a first pressing Detroit copy of the Terror Wheel. And how you can tell is 313-399-7284. And yeah, this... I used to not be a completionist when it came to different pressings and reissues. Terror Wheel is what made me start to be a completionist. Because you can see right here, just side by side, this is the second pressing. Look how washed out this is. And here you got really deep orange. And the detail and the contrast is so much better here. And yeah, it's just, it's night and day. And when I got a copy of the Terror Wheel, the original copy, and saw how it looked compared to the reissues I had, I was just like, oh my god, how many other ICP albums just have like significantly better cover art from the first pressings? Yeah, this is a prime example. And so with the second pressing, it is 3313. So to my knowledge, there is no 0022 pressing like there is normally. I have a cassette that's 0022, but I can't find any proof that a CD exists. If I'm wrong, please let me know. And yeah, so you can tell one way to spot the difference is the original pressings have orange font, and the second pressings have white font here, both made by disc makers. So yeah, the first pressings are really hard to find. These pressings are pretty frequent, and they're still really good. Disc, the style of the disc pretty much the same. This opposite of the cover, this is actually a deeper orange, and this one is faded. So it's kind of funny how yeah, they're like that. And then here you see the numbers at the bottom, and oh shit, that number does not match, I think. Huh. Okay, well, I'm seeing now that this disc is 399-7284. I wonder if they all are, or if somebody sold me one that had the wrong disc. Well, okay, I'll have to figure that out later. Third pressing, same deal. This one was actually done in 2000. So after, they had signed to a major label, we got InsaneClownPosse.com. Not sure why the Terror Wheel doesn't have as many pressings as a lot of the others. But, yeah. Here the credits say 1999 and 2000. So I got a matching disc here, at least. Again, cover is even more faded. And a completely different shade. All three of these, look slightly different in their own way. And then For the 2000 reissue, we've got a different spine. All right, fourth pressing. This one I think is from Red Distribution. Yep, distributed by Red Music Distribution, 2003. Psychopathicrecords.com. So this one is a little more hollow, shimmery than the others. You can see the 2003 date at the bottom. Once again, the spine is that new style. And the fifth pressing. So for this one, you can see the disc ring is like totally, flush with the outside rather than, yeah. 2004 here. Same deal on the back. Shows 2004. And then I believe these also changed the inside. Yeah. You can see it's black now. All the same stuff. It doesn't have that third Joker's card hype anymore. I think this was the first copy of the Terror Wheel I ever got. And I think I actually have the phone number written down. Oh, no. That's not it. That's one I have that's damaged. Took me forever to find this copy, oddly enough. Yeah, now this was my first copy. And I wrote down the phone number in it. Hopefully I got it right. Doesn't work anymore, but... Alright, and then last but not least is the 2023 remaster of the Terror Wheel. So this one is still available on Psychopathic merch, and they opted for a digi pack this time. Got all new credits on the bottom. Then it opens up. You got that classic image of Shaggy and Jay, 2 tickets to the Terror Wheel. Got the... Oh, they put back the coming soon third Joker's card. That's pretty cool. Then you got the credits. And then the disc image is kind of more zoomed in on here. And then it shows the description for the Terror Wheel. So compared to Beverly Hills, I think this reissue is a lot better. They still did a weird thing where they stretched the album. But it doesn't ruin it. It doesn't ruin like what they're going for. In fact, it almost highlights the whole Terror Wheel warping. And the new cover is much closer to the look of the old one in terms of the tone of orange. It's a little bit leaning towards red, but overall still really good. And much like Beverly Hills, this remaster is the best way to listen to it digitally. But if you can get it on cassette, that's the way to go. Really, for the Terror Wheel, it sounds so dope. So yeah, that is the motherfucking Terror Wheel. I'm gonna go do some research and see if I got sold the wrong fucking disc with this copy. I think I found that in a record store, so not much I can do about it. But yeah, whoop whoop juggalos. Up next is Shaggy 2 Dope solo EP. Fuck off.